Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey and I need to get my physical TBR down this year. So if you saw my goals video, you know that I am on a book buying ban for backlist books. And that is because my physical TBR is so large and full of backlist books that I basically have my own library in this house and I need to read it down. So I decided to take on a monthly, semi-monthly, basically whenever I feel like it and I don't have a themed video idea to clear these shelves. So for this first episode, I really wanted to tackle what I remember to be the oldest books on my TBR and knock those out of there so I'll feel really accomplished. The first book you'll see me read is How We Did It by Carl Subban. Next up, I read Night Books by J.A. White and finished out the vlog with The Mothers by Britt Bennett. All three of these books I think have been on my TBR since I started watching BookTube, which is likely 11 years ago. So I really need to get these read and out of here. So I'll send you back to Kelsey 1 week ago when I did it. Hello, it is time for my daily sweet treat and I'm going to have a Fruit Riot sour grape. Also, that is not a new ultrasound. That is my current child that is living on this earth for 1 year. I just like to keep it up there for memories. It's not an announcement or anything like that. I don't have a second on the way. Oh my god. So sour. Ooh. As a part of my clearing my shelves initiative this year, I'm on a book buying ban and I only can read the books on my shelves unless they're a new release. So in order to make the first episode a bit easier on me, I decided I'm going to read the oldest books on my TBR. I don't know when I bought these books. Can't tell you. Definitely 2019 and onward. And the first book I decided to read is How We Did It by Carl Subban. This is PK Subban's father. PK Subban was the defenseman on the Montreal Canadiens, and then he went on to play for the Nashville Predators. A huge staple for Montreal. The children's hospital where I gave birth to my son has the PK wing where he put money into the children's hospital here. He is a fond member of our community. So I've always had a really big, despite not being raised a Habs fan, a really big soft spot for PK Subban. And so when I saw that his father put out this book about their lives and how they raised their 5 kids, and I saw also that Kayla over at Books and Lala really liked this book too as a fellow Canadian. So I figured I might as well pick it up, give it a try. You want more of your pinwheel? Okay, hold on. I must give my son his snack. 8 chapters in at page 122. And I am definitely really enjoying this for what it is. Mostly this is a memoir of Carl Subban, how he grew up in Jamaica and moved to Sudbury, Ontario, met his wife and subsequently raised his 5 children and put the 3 boys into hockey. And a lot of people, according to Carl Subban, have asked him how he has created such fantastic hockey players, what's his family's secret, stuff like that, which is why Carl Subban decided to write this memoir and focus on how him and his wife did it, interspersed between Carl Subban's memories and discussing how he grew up and his life choices along the way. He talks about the importance of raising his kids successfully, what he's done to raise them successfully, and how come they've put so much devotion and time into hockey. I've seen a lot of reviews online where people are like, this is not a hockey book, this is not about hockey, whatever. But it's not necessarily about PK Subban, right? It is really about the Subbans as a family and how Carl has done the things that he's done to instill this hardworking and successful mentality in his kids. And that's really all this book is trying to tackle. I think so far, Carl Subban has been a very charming narrator. Some of the stories in the book are interspersed with comments from his children. Let me see if I can find a page, which I think is really cute. His kids are giving their own perspectives on the stories that their father is telling. I think it's really interesting. Obviously, if you don't know from watching this channel, I played hockey for 20 years. My partner still plays hockey. We are hockey loving people. I would like to put my son in hockey if he wants to. And I think it's really interesting to read about just the ways in which hockey, and specifically I think working with a team, has affected the way Carl Subban has raised his children. And I think it's a really interesting mentality that I don't know if I'm going to take everything from this book, but definitely there's some things that I think are going to be helpful, maybe, I don't know, in raising my son. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe read the rest because it's a fairly short book. It's only 300 pages before I come back and give you a final thought on the book. But I'm happy to get this one out of the way because it's definitely a book I've had for a really long time. PK Subban doesn't even play hockey anymore. So it's something that I need to take off this TBR. And I think it might be a book that I keep. I think part of the purpose of this vlog is to read the books off my shelves, to read them and get them off my shelves and then put them out into the community if I want. I think my son wants the rest of his pizza pin roll. Hold on. So now tonight, I don't know exactly what we're going to have for supper. I'm probably going to make like a dumpling stir fry. It's Friday night, so I don't really want to cook something extravagant. And I don't really want to order out because I think we're probably likely going to order out tomorrow because it's Saturday. We'll see what happens. I will obviously let you know, and I will continue listening to how we did it. Hello, I am coming to you the day after the Super Bowl, and obviously, I love Bad Bunny. I love specifically the messaging that Bad Bunny presented in his Super Bowl performance. I love the celebration of Latin culture. I love what it means for this major, major stage in the current climate of the United States of America. And I just want to remind people that if you think the NFL did not know what Bad Bunny was going to be performing, if you think that by having Green Day and Bad Bunny as a part of their musical guests, that they do not know what they're doing. If you're a little white man and you think, first of all, why are you watching this? If you're a little white man football MAGA guy and you think that the NFL is on your side, whether it's monetarily or not, guys, like Bad Bunny definitely had rehearsals, like they know what's going on and they know the stage that they've provided Bad Bunny for this message.
You work for the devil!
So what?
So what?
Yes, so what if he's the devil, Rick? At least the devil has a job. At least he's active in the community.
And I just think it was really, really beautiful given the current ICE raids that are occurring. Fuck ICE. Fuck Trump. After that inspiring speech from me, let's talk about my final thoughts on How We Did It by Carl Subban, which I really, really love. I'm going to be leaving it unrated just because I feel weird rating like memoir-y type of books. And I made the decision last year to not rate memoirs, and I felt a lot better about my reviewing and how I felt about books because of that. I found this memoir overall to be really, really well constructed and Carl Subban's words to be really meaningful within it. I always find it really charming when parents talk about how much they love their children and how much they love teaching their children and how proud he is of his kids and everything that they've accomplished and how purposeful he sounded when he talks about his family and his teaching career. I liked the tidbits that the 5 kids would speak on throughout the book. I thought that that was a really nice touch and really connected him to his family, especially also because I love hockey and I love following the Subban's careers specifically. But I actually really, really appreciated with this book learning about Carl Subban the most. I think a lot of the reviews in this book were maybe expecting more of a hockey book or expecting something different from Carl Subban, but obviously he's going to talk about himself. It's a parenting book. I really liked that we learned about him. I liked that it was a memoir on his childhood in Jamaica and then coming to Sudbury, Ontario. Like, I just liked all of that aspect and him talking about his family and how they were raising their children. This was a pretty wholesome book and I had a really great time with it. I'm happy that I purchased it. I'm happy that I have it in my home because it was a wonderful read. Genuinely. And because this one is done, I'm going to be starting the next oldest book on my TBR that I bought who knows how freaking long ago. But I remember one of my friends recommending this book to me, Danny, over at Current Chapter. If you're watching, please come back. And it is Night Books by J.A. White. And since the prompt for the Buzzwordathon for February is silhouettes, I thought this is the perfect book to read for this vlog because I've owned it well more than 6 years and it has a silhouette on it. So this follows a young boy named Alex who one night is exploring his apartment building's like corridor and he becomes imprisoned in a magical apartment which is run by this witch named Natasha. And another imprisoned child in the apartment named Yasmin ensures Alex that she's tried everything to escape and they are going to be stuck there forever. But there's one thing that makes Natasha weak. There's one thing Natasha likes, and that's stories. I am not that far in. I think I have another like 50 pages before I would like to solidly update you on the plot, but so far enjoying it. It's a middle grade read and I always think that middle grade books are just a fun experience to listen to. So I'm going to continue listening to this while I get some work done today. I'm going to make myself a coffee because I went to the gym without pre-workout or a coffee and I feel it in my head despite having peanut butter afterwards. So I'm going to go do that. I'll probably listen to the next like 40 pages and then come back and update you on my full actual thoughts on the book. Hello, so it's time for an update on Night Books by J.A. White and I've gotten to the last third of the novel. So before I really continue, I want to talk about my thoughts and I'm enjoying it. I don't think it's like the best middle grade novel I've ever read, but I'm having a fun time, which I think is what I should expect from middle grade novels at this age in my life. I want them to be fun. I want them to really suck me in and give me like a fun story. And if there is an additional like grandiose tale to tell, I'm going to enjoy it a little bit more. In this one, we're really looking at a boy who has insecurities entering this like I don't know if it's haunted necessarily, but spooky apartment and befriending a familiar cat and a young girl who's also stuck in the apartment. And all of them really have these conflicts within themselves of like appreciating who they are, being confident in the decisions and the choices that they have. And Yasmin, the young girl, and Alex, the young boy, are working to escape and distracting the witch with stories every night. I'm really enjoying in this book the aspect of Alex's stories that are within it. So Alex writes stories like for fun. The witch has taken a liking to these stories and it's somehow related to keeping herself young and the house alive. And Alex is just going through his old night books and reading the dark and spooky stories he's written. And I really, really like that aspect. I like when an author has multiple elements to their book. And often when it is the main character or one of the characters' writings, I really enjoy reading a different like writing style from the author. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I just think it adds a like nice wondrous element. So I'm having a good time with this. I do think I'm probably going to finish this within the next hour. I'm really locking down and just finishing some work today, so I could really see myself finishing this. I also have to edit my romantasy vlog. I don't see it going up tomorrow really unless I really hunker down. But like I said, I am pretty busy with something I have to do to work because I have the next like 4 days off from work. I'm so excited to have a really, really long weekend, which is beautiful, especially because it's Valentine's Day and it's also my anniversary this weekend because when we were 19 years old, my boyfriend was not the most creative of when he should ask me out and be official. So, anyways, I'm going to continue listening, get some work done, see if I can do a little bit of editing before I have to pick up my son. Also, have to think of what we are going to have for supper tonight. I'm feeling a little lazy, so we'll see. We'll see what I'll do. Oh my God, God bless. God bless. Hello, I'm coming to you after finishing Night Books by J.A. White, and I think I'm going to settle on a 3 stars for this one because it just wasn't my favorite middle grade book that I've ever read. And when I'm reading middle grade, I'm really looking for middle grade that changes the game. And I think this was a pretty solid middle grade. It evoked like classic childhood, grim fairy tale type of vibes. And it was creepy enough that I found myself engaged and like willing to read the book and willing to finish it because I really, really, really like horror in like middle grade and YA settings. Parts of this novel were written by the main character themselves as they're like writing these short stories in their notebook. And I found those to be really, really fun. I love when an author includes like an epistolary element in books. Unfortunately, though, in this one, I don't think the characters were as developed as I expect in middle grade books that really wow me. And I do think that that in the end halted the novel's overall tension because they just seemed like average characters to me. So I wasn't like emotionally invested in them. This book was a really good time, but it just didn't bring anything like fun and fresh, like I said, that I expect from middle grade novels that I end up really, really loving. Still a solid read. 3 stars. I'm going to be unhauling this as well so I can put it back into my community. So hopefully a member of the community who is of middle grade age will like this and they don't have to pay like a substantial amount for a hardcover, which I think is ridiculous. But let's not talk about the state of the world and the state of prices and the state of capitalism because I'm going to go insane if I do. I'm going to start the next book and the last book I have planned for this vlog, which is The Mothers by Britt Bennett. I have heard nothing but really excellent things about this book since it came out. It begins with a secret, then follows that secret through the lives of 3 different characters from high school into adulthood, tracing its impact far beyond their Southern California youth. Ooh, I love that. I love generational novels. I love when books follow different characters and it's seemingly like their lives don't interconnect over time and then they do. I'm very excited. I had a feeling I was going to like this book just because of how well praised it is and how I know we're like looking at these women as they enter adulthood and how adulthood pretty much changes their lives. As someone who I can't say I just had a baby anymore because it has been 14 months. Yeah, we're slowly accepting that.
Take a minute. Take it in.
I think I'm at like the perfect age. Sometimes you have to read books at a certain point in your life for them to feel the most impactful. And I think this might be the perfect moment for me to read The Mothers. So I'm going to be starting this now. I'm sorry if this vlog is a little boring. I've just been home this entire week and I haven't really done anything fun to even like insert as B-roll. Tomorrow I will be doing fun things. So hopefully I remember to insert them as B-roll so we have something interesting to engage us with. But otherwise I've just been home watching the Olympics, working, cooking, and cleaning, and that's it. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to listen to The Mothers.
What the dog doing?
Hello. So I just came back from the gym. My arms are really, really sore. So it's like hurting to hold them up like this. But I did want to come and talk to you because I got about 60-ish pages into the mothers. I'm updating a bit earlier than I usually like to because this book is really short. It's only 275 pages. So I feel like if I want to update in thirds, I have to update a little bit faster. And essentially, I was a bit off with what the overall theme of the novel is or the plot of the novel. And basically, the mothers seem to be a group of women at this church who work together to pray and help the individuals in their town. And the first 60 pages were looking at one certain individual named Nadia, and Nadia is struggling. She is a senior in high school. She ends up falling pregnant by the pastor's son, who is older than her. Now, I don't know if this novel is going to have a discussion on the fact that teenage girls are often impregnated from adult men, but that's besides the point. And we're looking at how Nadia deals with this pregnancy after the loss of her mother who committed suicide, and how Nadia goes to get an abortion, the stigma around that, and also Nadia's feelings around that. And so far, I'm really, really liking that. So we have, again, the contrast of the mothers in this church who are working to pray and help the members of their community. So a more like traditional sense of a mother, contrasted with Nadia, who is a young woman who gets pregnant, who has an abortion. And I'm interested to see how Nadia dealing with an abortion contrasts with the mothers and how they are like the ideal traditional type of mother who goes to church, prays, helps the community, right? Interested to see where this is going so far. I really like Britt Bennett's writing. I think it's really, really beautiful. Very, very literary fiction type of writing, if you know what I mean. Going to continue listening to this. I do have to go to the pharmacy to pick up a couple of stuff for the house before I pick up my son. So I'm going to be leaving in about 30 minutes. So I want to get a nice little chunk read before I go and do that, and I'll probably update you a bit later. Hello, I'm talking low because my family is home and I hate when they hear me, but I wanted to give an update, yes, for what I'm reading, but also because I got a couple of packages and I would like to open them for you. This, I think I know what it is, and I've been waiting for it. You thought my heated rivalry obsession ended? No, bitch. No, it did not. This is so cute and like stitched. Oh, I love this. I will be wearing this promptly. So that was just a silly little purchase I did. Then I also got my Aardvark book box. And if you recall, 2026 new releases don't count in the book hauls that I've been doing. I picked Tradwife by Saratoga Sheffer for the February pick. Yeah, we're in the middle of February. This is like obviously a horror discussion on like the Tradwife movement that's taking place in the States. Oh, it's signed. That's cute. When Camille Deming isn't cooking, cleaning, or homesteading in her picture perfect country farmhouse, she's posting about her tradwife lifestyle for her online followers. She takes inspiration from other tradwives on social media, aspiring to be like them. But Camille's missing a key component, a baby. And contrary to what she posts online, things with her husband Graham have been strained. Pressured by her ego followers, Camille fears that without a baby, her relationship will suffer and her social media will never grow out of its infancy. Sounds really, really fun and interesting. And I love looking at like influencer culture and horror, but also like this tradwife movement, discussions on motherhood and horror always really, really interests me. So very, very excited to pick this up. And then of course the box always comes with this cutie little bookmark in the shape of an aardvark, which I always love. And then we can also get into my discussion on the mothers. I have about 1/3 left of the book. I'm feeling like it's a pretty standard literary fiction. Right now we're in Nadia and Aubrey's like young adulthood and how their friendship has changed and how their relationship with Luke, the boy they went to high school with, has developed in each of their lives and how it is affecting their current situation in life. I'm enjoying it. I like it. I don't think there's anything like monumental being truly said in here. I think it's just a nice story about these people's lives and how the idea of relationships has shaped the way that they contribute to their communities. So the mothers being obviously these people that are in a church, how they worked to be a sort of like overarching power in the town as they work for the church, and how they are trying to be like loving in their own way but yet judgmental at the same time, and how that affects the people around them, and how Nadia has used that one way to be the complete opposite, to be an independent person, to go her own way, and how Aubrey has fallen into like the the picture perfect person and how their friendship has also changed or changing because of it. I don't think it's going to be anything monumental, which disappoints me. But again, the point of this vlog was really to get through the oldest books on my TBR. I think I would like to do this again because I have a couple that are really, really old still on my TBR. Today is Valentine's Day. I had a spin class this morning, loved it, but we did an 11-minute standing ride, which was crazy, to all Taylor Swift's All Too Well for Valentine's Day. And I was like, oh my god, dying, but it was so worth it. I'm so happy I went. Came home, took a shower, whatever. We're playing with my son, we're doing all these things, and then we're going to order Chinese food because me and my partner order Chinese food every year for Valentine's Day, and I wait for it all year long. So we're going to do that. I'm going to continue listening to this, and I'll probably come update you. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but definitely Monday. So welcome to the end of the vlog, and let's talk about my final thoughts on The Mothers by Britt Bennett. I like that this novel really gave us an insight to a Black church community and how the closeness of said communities affects the way that characters will act and behave and the way that they think about those around them. I liked exploring our main characters, and I liked their story overall. They intersected in ways that I found really interesting. I love when we think we're following 3 different stories and they're all really interconnected. And I liked how the story ended in general. And part of that is because I really enjoyed how the mothers in this book work as a Greek chorus. And I found it to be a really effective stylistic choice by Britt Bennett because it's really working to evoke the community's opinions. But overall, the plot of this book was just fine. It is the point of a sorts because we're really just following these 3 characters at a specific moment in their lives. But it wasn't the most engaging story to read. And while I feel like Bennett really has a knack for prose, I don't feel like this novel was truly saying something, or at least not at the level that I expected it to do so. We're looking into the options of choice and how those choices affect individuals as they grow, as they age over time. And this was more of a melancholy and softer look to it. And I think I was hoping for something a little bit more hard hitting. So in the end, I'm really, really happy I read this because again, it is one of the oldest books I own, but I ended up giving this a 3 stars. So I don't know how successful this vlog is because yes, I knocked off 3 of the oldest books off of my TBR, but all of them are relatively within the 3-star range. Well, let's get into our summaries and I'll rethink that because for How We Did It by Carl Subban, I think if I had to rate this, I would give it a 4 stars because I did really genuinely enjoy it overall. I just don't rate memoir nonfiction, but I am really, really happy I read it, and I don't plan on donating this book to my community used bookstore. However, I will be donating these 2, Night Books by J.A. White, which I gave 3 stars, and The Mothers, as you just saw, by Britt Bennett, which I also gave 3 stars. So these 2 are going back into the community, and I think that these are excellent books to put into the community. A really fun middle grade that's hardcover that will hopefully go into the hands of a younger person who needs to have more accessible reading options. Incredible how expensive books are. And then obviously The Mothers for the same reason. I'm really glad that a book like this is going into the community. So overall, not the most successful in terms of rating, but I feel quite successful because I've knocked off 3 books that I hardly ever reach for because they've been here for so long. So that's it. Those are all of the books I will be reading today. Please let me know down below what the oldest book you have on your physical TBR is. I would really like to know. And of course, if you would like to follow me on any of my social medias, I do leave a link down below to my Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram if you would like to follow me there. Of course, we all know that they're owned by billionaires and we have to beat the system. But in order to survive in this capitalistic world, we need to have an ability to connect. So if you would like to follow me there, you can, as long as they exist. And of course, because it is the end of the video, please do not forget to subscribe, and ring the notification bell. It does wonders for my channel, makes me feel really good. And that's it. I never know how to end these things. So I will see you next time. Okay, bye.